What's up, nerds? My name is Brendan. I'm the nerd of many faces, and to my right, of course, is Shane at FDScosplay, and we are the Knights of Nerd. Here to give our reviews of two newly released video games. One being Far Cry 6, which was released in terms of times of recording 10 days ago, the 7th of October, and Back 4 Blood, which was released Tuesday, October calendars.
October 12th.
October 12th. I went through and did the playthrough of Back 4 Blood, some with Shane, of course, and Shane went through and conquered Far Cry 6 in 10 days time. And yeah, let's go ahead and just get started in on these reviews. Shane, go ahead and take it away with Far Cry 6, because you and I can talk a little bit both. You and I can talk about Back 4 Blood on both sides. So
yeah,
take it away.
Well, before we get started, how you been, buddy?
Tired. Work has. I run escape rooms, and sometimes anyone who has done escape rooms, sometimes I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
Right. Oh man.
But sometimes the lawful, it's like the willful or here's how I'm going to phrase it. The self-imposed kidnapping in which you pay for sometimes does not go as planned for all parties involved. Even so, the people who run the escape rooms for you.
There you go.
I have more thoughts on that. If you want to catch me on Twitch, I will regale you with stories of good, bad, the good, the bad, the ugly versions of escape rooms. But yeah, no, that's been my week. Plus, you know, going through and trying to get as far as I can in Back 4 Blood. But we'll talk more about that later. And you know, you were busy playing Far Cry. I very well know, because I saw it on Discord. Man,
I got it launch day, and I started playing it since then. And I want to say this is this is the biggest Far Cry game I've played. I've played all of them up through 6. The last one, 5, and Far Cry 5 and New Dawn, both those took me probably about 4 to 5 days to complete all the storyline all the way through, including doing side missions. And this one took me 10 days. I mean, it's huge. It is really, really big. There's a lot to do, and it is, by far my favorite Far Cry game, right? To date. 5 was really, really good. I really enjoyed it, but this one, I enjoyed it more. And one of the things that they do really well with the past 3 Far Cry games, is, man, you get. I hate to say this because it just sounds so bad, but when you complete the game and you take out the bad guy, you feel good. Like, they do a really good job of making you like really hate the bad guy. Like, they make you like really feel like, I want to take this guy out. I have to take this guy out, because if I don't take this guy out, this is gonna. They do a really great job of drawing you into the story, and they did that again with this one. And it's just, just phenomenal with how they took a lot of the things that they did really, really good with 5 and New Dawn, and combined it with the things that they did really good with 3 and 4, and just kind of gave you this
mix them all together, and then it's like
mix them all together, and it was just phenomenal. And
here's the delicious tasting Far Cry pie.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm trying to remember, Giancarlo. Oh, I'm trying to remember his last name from The Mandalorian, Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon from
Um,
it's like Moff Gideon from the Mandalorian, and don't
yes,
forget he was also in Breaking Bad.
yes, he was.
Uh,
Yes, he was. Why can't I remember his last name? Um, but anyways, you guys know who I'm talking about. He was. Oh my God, he was. Is there anything that guy can't do? Like, oh
he
my
does
God,
villains very well.
like he's so good in this. Like, man, and I just I have to excuse me for right now, but I've got to look up the actor that played his son Diego, because one thing with the Far Cry games is they really do a great job in the talent that they get for these games, because it's just so good and it's so well done. And I can appreciate what Ubisoft is doing with these,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just they really are doing a great job with drawing you in and really making you feel like the character, and that's what I love about them. Like the first game that came out on the first Far Cry, which came out on PC and then was later released on, I think, Xbox. And then you got Far Cry 2 and Far Cry 3 on the 360. Far Cry 4, 5, and New Dawn were on Xbox One. And then this is their first first game on the next gen consoles. And I mean, it's fantastic. But it was Giancarlo Esposito
Yes.
and Anthony. I'm waiting for it to load. Anthony Gonzalez was the actor that portrayed Diego, his son. And from the start of the game to the end of the game, the story really draws you in. I mean, I don't want to, give away too many spoilers things, but once you guys watch this episode, it'll be out for about 2 weeks. But I mean, the game starts pretty much with you on a boat escaping Anton's Castillo, who Giancarlo plays as the main villain in the game. Basically, not an invasion, but them kind of taking over the town that you're in right now. They end up, it's pretty much a cinematic scene at the beginning when your friend gets killed, and you basically spend from that time on kind of escaping to a boat, trying to get on a boat. And once you get to that area, you get to like this old lady and this boy, and you're like, they're not going to let them on the boat. They're not going to let the woman and the kid on the boat. And your character, which they do a great job with, again, you can choose whether you want to be a female or male character, and you basically talk the guy that's basically letting people on the boat to let them on the boat, right? And comes to find out, your boat basically gets stopped. And Anton comes on the boat with his right hand guy, which I don't even remember his name. He's got a prosthetic leg and he holds a revolver. So he wasn't that big of a character in the game, which was kind of surprising to me, because usually with the Far Cry games, the main villain has kind of, his second in command kind of guy to kind of, his strong arm guy. And he wasn't really in the game all too much. But comes to find out, the boy that you got on the boat was Diego.
Okay.
And so Anton Castillo takes and decides, like, I'm going to kill everybody. And Diego's like, no, it's not their fault. It's my fault, blah, 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 blah. And in true dictator fashion, he's like, okay, I'm not going to kill them, but we'll see if they survive.
Okay.
And of course, Diego's like, what the hell's going on? And Castillo decides to set the boat on fire and kill everybody. So then you end up on a beach side, and like your friend that you escaped with dead. Pretty much everybody's dead. and that's kind of where the game starts.
Kind of in standard
from
Far Cry fashion.
Yeah. And it just is a roller coaster from there. I mean, you have so many different side missions to do. In order to complete the game, you've got to basically bring all these guerrilla factions together and make them work as as one, and to join each other, so that way you can take out Castillo, because you can't do it by yourself. So you're basically running around trying to get all these factions to join you. Whether it's old veterans from a prior war with the Castillos, with Anton Castillo's father. The Legends of 67 is what they're called. And then you've got your kind of tech geek kind of guys and group, and then you've got your kind of it's funny because they kind of break it up, because with social media and stuff like that, we're always talking about, okay, well, you've got the millennials, you got Gen Z, you got Generation X, you got the baby boomers and stuff like that, and they really did a great job of really depicting all of those stereotypes with the different factions, and really getting them to come together and work together as a team. And I really appreciate that, because you get so much stuff on social media nowadays of where millennials are, ruining everything, and baby boomers just don't get it. And,
I mean, it's like I'm trying my best to ruin everything. I mean,
right?
It's like I fall under that category, and it's like, oh geez.
And then you get your Gen Zers that just don't,
they don't understand.
We're antisocial. We don't care. Like, do whatever you want to do, whatever. But they did a really good job of kind of bringing those stereotypes into those factions, because you have your Legends of 67, which would be your baby boomers. Then you've got your kind of like sports kids, kind of like your jocks, kind of like. And then you've got like your tech geeks, which are kind of like your millennials and stuff like that. And then you've got the Libertad, which is the main faction that you're working for, to kind of bring everybody together. And they're kind of like the Gen Xer, kind of like, we're gonna fight for our right to party, the Beastie Boys. But it's really interesting to see how they did all that. And I mean, it's fun, and they did a really good job of really kind of tying all that together. And the game is just, I mean, the storyline from beginning to end, it draws you, and you never really get bored. You never feel like you're playing the same thing over and over again. Though with a lot of these games, you have your NPC bots that you're fighting against, that kind of get repetitive and stuff like that. But as you progress through the game, they get harder and harder, because I mean, of course, you level 1 and then you rank up, and as you rank up, not only do the enemies get harder, but the areas across the map level up with you. So you can be in one area, like you're level 7, and that area is level 7, and then you hit level 15 and you go back to that area and it's level 15.
So they do something similar to like the Borderlands scaling of stuff. Like you're always
it's always progressive.
Yeah, it's like you're always gonna face a level 15 skag no matter where you're at.
Right.
If you're level 15.
But it's not like that all over the map. There are some areas that will stay within kind of like 3 levels of where you're at. So if like you're level 15, there may or 4 to 5 levels. So like there's a few instances where I'm level 15 and I was going through an area and it's a level the NPCs are level 11.
Okay.
Which is easy to do, but you have so many different side quests to do in those areas that it works.
Okay.
So like if you're tired of like having to friggin' sneak around and like trying to take out level 15 characters, then you can kind of just take a break and just go through and just rampage over an area. But yeah, no, I mean the map is so huge. I mean, you get planes, you get automobiles, you get bikes, motorcycles, quads, helicopters, um, different types of boats, jet skis. I mean, there's so many different ways to get around the map that, I mean, I know that I haven't even
Scratch the
I would
surface
say
yet?
I'm probably 60% of the way through the map, even though I've completed the main storyline and I've completed a lot of the side quests. Like my wife, she's playing it too because she loves the Far Cry games as well, and she's more of a stickler of, she wants to find everything, complete everything before she continues on to the story. So she wants to 100% the game before, so the last thing that she does, she gets that 100%,
She's the kind of person,
completion.
it's like, who goes through, it's like, I've completed all the side quests.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am going to have
So
no problem
so
facing the last boss.
right, exactly. So she's my dictionary. So whenever I get to an area and I get stuck, I go to her instead of going on YouTube or something like that. Be like, "Hey, babe, did you do this, this, and this?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, how do I find it?" Like
Well,
there was a side mission where you get so you get a panther for completing this task, because and like a special weapon too, and you go through and you've got to complete different idols. Like you got to find these different idols and bring them back and set them down and stuff like that. So I did the first one to start the treasure hunt, is what it is. And she had already completed it, and that's why I kind of started it. And I thought you just did the first one, and I was like, okay, so I've got to find these two other caves with these idols, and it doesn't show you on the map where they're at. You have to basically explore the map in order to find them and talk to different guerrillas to unlock the areas and tell you where these these areas are for the treasures that you can find. In the treasure hunts, you can unlock weapons, you can unlock, like you can upgrade your weapons and give them little like ornaments, like you would
okay.
have like back in the day, how cell phones used to come with like that little area where you could like put an ornament on your phone.
Those,
Yeah, so you can do
like
that
a
with all your
tchotchke.
weapons. Yeah, so you can do that with all your weapons, and you can add different things to them and stuff like that. So yeah. So I mean, there's I mean, I want to say there's something for everybody with this game. Whether you're somebody that wants to go through and has to 100% complete everything, there's plenty of stuff for you to do. If you're somebody like me that really enjoys the storyline and you just go for it and you want to complete the storyline with some side quests, because the side quests do help and do make the story, give you a broader story and understanding of what's going on. And you have to do some of the side quests in order to unlock, progression through the story. But yeah, I mean, it was a good time, man. I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, as soon as we're done here, I'll probably jump on, and she should be done with her run through of it, I hope. And because once you finish the game, right? So you have insurgents that you need to take out. So, oh, she just yelled at me that she's done. So as soon as we're done here, hopefully we can jump together and do a co-op game and complete the insurgent thing that you can do afterwards.
Okay.
The thing is you've only got a day to complete it. So it's your co-op stuff to take out certain insurgents, but you have a certain amount of time to do it, and it's through co-op, which
Okay.
is fantastic. I mean, you can do co-op throughout the game, which is perfectly fine, and you can take out those insurgents, throughout the game. But like me and like her, like we like to complete the game before we go through and we do any type of multiplayer or anything like that, because we want to get the story and we want to complete the game and we want to do all that. We've done it with all the Halos, with just about every game that we've ever played.
And then
And
and then sometimes, if someone hasn't completed, it's like hasn't progressed to the point where you've progressed,
Mhm.
certain things may not be available to you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, but yeah, so definitely recommend this game. I mean, I mean, I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 because there are some things. So there was a couple of times. I haven't seen anybody else say anything about it. But I haven't really looked it up, and it's only happened to me twice where I've gotten to a certain I've completed a certain side quest, and it froze my system and crashed it.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Crashing systems is never good for
no,
any type of game.
No. So but and then of course, there's been a couple glitches here and there, but nothing really, like nothing to be like, oh, I'm never playing this game again. Like
Okay.
it's been really simple stuff. Like I thought either my controller was broken in one thing or the game was just jacked up because you're in this cave, and it was that mission where you're trying to find the different idols and stuff like that, and you got into a certain cave, and basically the cave's like ready to start falling in on you. So you're in an area where it's like a complete earthquake underneath you, so the controller's just vibrating the entire time, and it gets annoying as hell. And you can't, like, there's certain areas where you have to like shoot stuff, and you're like sitting there and you've got your sights on, your sights are all like just all over the place. You're like, can I just hold still so I can just shoot that one thing? And so, but other than that, man, I highly recommend it. I would say it's about a 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Graphics are, I mean, the map and the graphics are just beautiful. I mean, you get up on the highest peak on the map and you just look around and it is just gorgeous. I mean,
I will have to say, like, the facial
ray trace
they did for Giancarlo, like, it looks exactly like him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't want to give away spoilers because I don't want to ruin
somebody's possible game through. Yeah,
right. But like, there's a certain, I'm not gonna give the spoiler, but there's a certain cutscene with him in it, and you're just like, oh my god, like that is just like it's close-ups of his face. Like, I mean,
does he do a Breaking Bad reference? Because that'd be awesome. It's like, I mean, well, actually, no, don't.
I can't say if he has or not because I personally have not watched the series.
Oh, okay.
so
like,
if he did,
it's like from everything that you were telling me in terms of who Giancarlo plays, I'm like, are we literally fighting Gus from Breaking Bad? Because that's who he played in Breaking Bad, and it's like, call me Gus. And I'm literally, it's like, I'm like, is that who we're fighting right now? Like, if anything, go back. It's like, go watch those episodes with him in Breaking Bad, and like, then you can tell us of whether or not it's like these characters are similar.
I will. I mean,
but of course,
he is a fascist dictator. I'll tell you that much. Like, man, like he does a good job. I mean, with all of his characters, even in the Mandalorian and stuff like that. I mean, he does a great job of making you really hate him. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just the graphics in the game are top notch. I mean, for me, I would say graphic wise, like I would give it a hard 10. Like I would give it a 10 out of 10 for graphics. Like I did other than the glitches of the game, which has nothing to do with the graphics. It's just the game itself. Were just beautifully done. I mean, the ray tracing that the piece that you get from PCs and from the Xbox and from PlayStation 5. I mean, they really did a phenomenal job with the graphics. I mean, I would say storytelling for me was about, I mean, a 9.7.
Okay.
The acting, like the voice acting and all of that stuff, easily a 10. That was just phenomenal. I mean, they have always done a great job with that. The music, if you do run it on Twitch, on streaming, please be careful because there are a lot of licensed music in the game. I mean, it's got Ricky Martin, Livin' La Vida Loca. It's got a bunch of other reggaeton tracks on there that when you hear them, you'll be like, oh, I like that song. I've heard that song before. There's a lot of songs that are in the game that are on TikTok that people use on TikTok and stuff like that. So just be careful with that. But overall, the music was great. That was probably about a 9.5 for me. But I mean, overall, just because the two system crashes and some of the glitches and stuff like that, it like I said, a 9.5 for me. Like it's one of the best in the series. They did a fantastic job with it overall. It is a huge map. If you can complete it within a good amount of time, good luck. I can tell you right now, my wife, who has been playing it the same amount of time as me, has pretty much most of the map open, but hasn't completed all of the smaller things. She's completed pretty much all the side missions except for one she was showing me, which is one where you have to go through, and one of the Legends of 67 has you taking letters to his children. So it's going to be interesting to complete that one because it doesn't tell you where they're at. It just basically gives you. So in the other Far Cry games, you had binoculars that you could look through and stuff like that. This one, they give you a cell phone, and you can use the cell phone kind of as your binoculars, and it tells you, okay, there's an alarm here. There's this easy baddie here. There's a sergeant here. There's a sniper here. There's a special forces guy here. So I really like that aspect of it. Made it a little bit easier because then you could go around, which I didn't know until my wife pointed out to me that you can actually just take your cell phone and scan automobiles and it'll put it into your garage instead of having to get in the dang automobile and drive it back to a camp and save it. So I greatly love her for that because yeah, I just didn't even bother with that until she told me that. And I was like, oh, wait, there's a car. Here you go. Let me scan it. All right. Oh, wait, here's a helicopter. Let me scan that one. Oh, wait, there's a plane. Let me scan that if I can.
Okay, I think that makes the tool, it's like the cell phone tool, just a little bit too OP. It's like, I'm like, I would be okay. It's like, if you want that vehicle in your garage, getting it and then taking it back to the garage, that makes logical sense. But
I mean, you can still do it, but I'm lazy, so
I'm gonna take a picture on my cell phone and then I'm gonna Amazon Prime it to myself.
Exactly. But you can't do that with military vehicles.
No.
So
okay. So there is a cutoff for it. Okay.
There is a cutoff point to it. So yeah. So any military vehicle that you run into, you can't scan it, and you actually have to drive that back to a base or fly it back to a base and set it in its designated area to get it. And the cool thing is once you do that, I haven't seen anything by scanning it, but if you do drive it back to your, whether it's a hideout or to one of the guerrilla bases, it unlocks certain perks for the cars, whether it's a new paint job, whether it's new interior, whether it's a new horn, or if it's a new bumper or whatever it is. I mean, everything in the game is pretty much, you can upgrade it except for the there's certain weapons that you can find around the map that are considered kind of like power weapons. Okay. But that basically already comes stocked with like a scope and a silencer and stuff like that, and you can't upgrade those, which I hardly ever used anyways. I primarily used the weapons that I found that I could upgrade to my style of gameplay, which was pretty much a silencer on everything and a scope on everything, because you can't just run and gun in this game like you can in some first person shooters. You have to be stealthy to a certain extent, and you have to be really good with headshots, because if you're not tactical. Good, yes, you have to be very tactical. And if you're not good with headshots, I'll be at your funeral and I'll say bye. But but other than that, the controls and everything were really, really, really solid as usual with the game and stuff like that. So But yeah, no, highly recommend it. Get out there and play it. And if you have never played a Far Cry game, great game to start with, because the one thing nice thing about the Far Cry games is they're really not.
They're very
They,
modular.
they're very modular. They don't follow. They're cookie cutter, but not cookie cutter. I mean, they feel like a normal first person shooter, but you're not constantly going after the same bad guy throughout the series. You have different villains throughout each game, and you're in different areas and bigger areas and stuff like that. So like Far Cry 5, you were pretty much in Montana, in the country and
Hey,
stuff
hey,
like
hey,
that,
that's
and
my
utilizing all
home
that stuff.
state.
I know it is, that's why I said it. And in this one, you're basically you're in Latin America.
Yeah, you're in Latin Central America. So.
Yeah, so it's I love the fact that they do that. So if you haven't picked up a Far Cry game, definitely pick this one up. You won't regret it. If you do, let me know, and I'll try and talk you through it and show you the light. But other than that, man, it's so much fun. It's really good. It's got great replayability as well, just with all of the side missions and the different things that you can do in the game.
Okay. Sounds interesting. For me, it's like I think the only Far Cry game that I played was Far Cry Primal.
Okay.
I
enjoyed Primal.
I mean, it's okay. It's a Far Cry game where it's like I hunt mastodons and
exactly.
I mean,
I like being a caveman. Oh.
Pretty much. It's like, I mean, there were some there. I didn't finish it, unfortunately, because there was other games that came out at the time. It was also like free on Epic's on the Epic Store for a hot minute, so I wasn't like super invested in terms of finishing it. But I mean, I liked what I saw, and I enjoyed the experience. I mean, I might pick up Far Cry 6 here at some point in time, but first I have to get through. I have to probably get through at least one complete run through of Back 4 Blood.
Yes.
So
yes.
It was my responsibility to go through and play Back 4 Blood, which generally it's like I don't like the horror genre. This is stemmed from me working in a movie theater and seeing a crap ton of good and bad horror movies. Some were worse than others, of course. But this game was this is essentially Left 4 Dead, Zombieland. 28 Days Later. Like it's got a full range of like good zombie movie feels to it. I mean, for the professional credentials, Back 4 Blood is made by Turtle Rock Studios. I was going to say Turtle Shell Studios, but that was not correct. And then it's published by Warner Brothers, of all people. It's like their interactive entertainment department. And I mean, it's a fun game. I first streamed it on Tuesday, went through, and I was playing it by myself. And I could not get past, well, either I could not get past or I just got past the second stage of Act 1, which is not really that high of a bar or a threshold to cross, but when you're by yourself and when you're playing with bots, it is. And that is one of the things that's kind of like it's in the middle. It's not a positive check mark and it's not a negative check mark, but this game is not really meant to be played by yourself. It's meant to be played with friends. If you have just another person there, it makes the experience all that more enjoyable. I have a clip in which some of those shenanigans can clearly be seen. So myself, roll the clip.
I'm gonna lay this razor wire. I never used it before, but
Yeah, lay the razor wire like in front of a door, in front of something that's gonna resemble an entrance.
Right here. Oh, fuck it. Held down left mouse.
And that's what happens when you put razor wire on top of an exploding barrel. Things go boom. And if you couldn't tell, I was playing with my buddy UC Triton, and we had 2 bots with us. And Shane, you joined us a little bit later on that evening.
Yep.
And
yeah, it was fun.
You know, it's like one bot to manage is nothing. I mean, it's literally nothing. Less bots to manage means, you know, everyone's doing their task, everyone's pulling their weight, and so on and so forth. Now, something that's interesting about this game is that it also has elements of a deck builder in it, because you get it's like by going through and completing sections of each act, you get supply points in which you use to complete supply lines. Those get you different cards which have different effects, and then you get to build a custom deck or use a starter deck or something along those lines to progress your character's, you know, effective skill in terms of the game. You know, it's an interesting thing that I haven't really seen before. It's kind of like a guaranteed talent tree. Like, okay, I know that I'm gonna get this after this next level, and there's a whole bunch. Probably a little bit of planning out to do in that regard. But I mean, you can go through it. It's like you can find cards inside the game as well, and like, I mean, +5 health bonus or something along those lines. And I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Now, to start off with, you have the selection of the 4 characters that you see on the box. It's a character by the name of Mom, Holly, Walker, or Alejandro. I think Alejandro is his name.
I think it's Alejandro. Yeah, I think you're right.
And it's like, and you get to pick one of those 4. Once you get past that certain point, you then unlock the other characters, which there is a doctor, there is the badass biker chick, the sniper, and then almost the nerdy guy. Like, I want to say almost, because the scene that we came across where it's like, oh god. I mean, it's like, I also say slightly nerdy because he has glasses very similar to my own. And yeah, I mean, so to the whole entire point that I'm trying to make in terms of this check mark, it's not as fun if you go through and play it by yourself.
No.
This has very little solo playability, which can be a downside. But that being said, I mean, you know, getting 3 friends together and going through, you know, a zombie horde together, it stands for a fun time. I mean, I started playing with a few friends of mine, and we played till like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was ridiculous, and it was a whole lot of fun. I am very much liking the character of Jim, who is the sniper character, and it's like, and there have been articles that I've read that have even ranked these characters out in terms of like, okay, this guy's S tier, this guy's A tier, this guy's B tier, so on and so forth. And also, one article that I read that was rather surprising to see but it makes sense, is that no one recommends that you go and start off on the highest difficulty on this game. Which you and I both know, Shane, that there are going to be some people out there that it's like, I'm only going to go play on nightmare mode, and that'll be it.
Yep.
And
don't do that.
And it's like, and here's the reasoning that I have found why. With each act, or with each section of each act, because I think there's like 4 or 5 in total. You get those supply points, which go to your supply lines. If you go through and play on nightmare mode, I mean, you have less ammunition. The you know, the bad guys are going to hurt worse, and you know, it's not going to be as fun of an experience. But going through and like getting your proverbial feet wet in, it's like on the on the quote unquote easy mode, which is not that easy, mind you. I still haven't beaten the game yet. Granted, it only came out on Tuesday, so it's like, and I do have other responsibilities. I cannot just sit around and play video games as much as I want to all day.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
It's like I have to have a day job currently.
I have a day job and I still play video games all day.
I think your employer would disagree with you.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's a game in which, like, it's what Left 4 Dead 3 should have been, because there was Left 4 Dead 1, Left 4 Dead 2, and then we heard rumors and scuttlebutt of a Left 4 Dead 3, but we never got it.
Yeah.
And now here comes Back 4 Blood, which, in terms of, it's like, and this is something that I also very much like about this game, is that it is cross-platform. It doesn't matter if you are playing on the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, or an Xbox X or S, or on your computer through Steam, you can still play with your friends. And even though I am playing it through Game Pass, which marks me down as an Xbox player, which to me seems weird. It's like, I'm playing this through Game Pass on my computer, but it doesn't recognize me as a PC player.
Well, the weird thing was too is so with that, right? So you're playing out, you and your buddy were playing on PC. I was playing through my Xbox. When I was going through, when we first were initially trying to get together and play, right? Yeah. So I'd bring you up on my friends list to see that you're playing it, like I would usually do with any other game, and then I would just join your game, right? But it didn't show that you were playing it, even though you were, which was I found kind of odd, and that's why I was messaging you, hey, can you just send me an invite so I can join you? Because for whatever reason, when I was, it didn't show that you were online, even though I knew that you were online playing.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, you could see it via Twitch that I was online. You could, and I did run into that a little bit with Triton, and I like I said, I ran into it in terms of a little bit. He was streaming on, I want to say Friday.
Okay.
And I was able to join his game. Now, maybe what was happening, so like I didn't have that experience that you had, Shane, in terms of trying to join my game or see that I was on. Like I could see that Triton was on, and he's playing on Steam, so he's actually truly playing through PC. Well, truly playing through PC. And I didn't have that issue. So that might have been a bug that they resolved within that 24-hour time period. Like, they realized it's like, oh, this is an issue, and they were seeing it like launch day Wednesday, Thursday, and they got it fixed by Friday. I mean,
okay.
Who knows? Time will only tell if this continues to still persist to be a problem. If it does, that will be a negative check mark in my book.
Because we played Wednesday, right?
Thursday.
Okay, Thursday.
Yeah, we played on Thursday, and we got through most of Act 2. And we had it's like we figured out the way in which to privately play, so therefore we don't have to worry about randos, because we had one person come in or hop in, then they left. Then we had another
one of the things I didn't like about it was, so when we were playing and we got through most of Act 2, I think we were at the last level when
we didn't get through Act 2.
We were at the last part of Act 2, weren't we?
No, it's like we have not gotten through Act. I don't think that we've gotten through Act 1.
Okay, but once you got to the point to where you had like no more continues, is how they state it.
Okay, yeah.
Like, why did I get booted from the group?
Yeah, that to me seemed kind of weird. I mean, by the time that it's like, and who knows, maybe this was just because by the time that we had zero continue, that we that our continues were used up this past Friday, we I mean, that was the end of the night. It's like, okay, we're done playing, because we don't it's like, 1, it's 2 a.m. 2, we don't have anything else. It's like we have no more continues, and I mean, there's nothing keeping us here. We'll just start it. Next time we get together, we'll just start a new run and go on from there.
Yeah.
I mean, the replayability is like, this game has an enormous amount of replayability. I mean,
yes, it does.
It's meant to be played over and over again, because I mean, I have not heard, I could be wrong, I have not heard of anyone. It's like, I haven't done the research yet. I could be saying something and eating my own words at this point in time. I haven't heard of anyone beating the rookie level yet. Well, it's like within my circle of friends.
Yeah.
That is a true statement. I don't know about it's like about nationwide or what have you. Excuse me. I just have not heard like anybody who I know who owns the game has beaten Act 1 yet.
Yeah. And I can appreciate that, because it definitely is a challenging game. From a certain aspect, and you're right. You can't go through it by yourself. There's no friggin' way that you can go through it by yourself, because you and I are kind of talking about it earlier. Is most multiplayer games like Call of Duty, Halo, and stuff like that, when you're playing with your friends, if you guys aren't doing competitive, you kind of just run off and do your own thing.
Yeah.
To where this kind of forces you to work as a team, utilize communication between everybody, because if you don't, you're pretty much SOL, and you're not going to be able to complete anything. Like, you basically need to survive this as a group, as a cohesive unit working together, because if you don't, I mean, you're just going to end up, because the three of us, we were working together well, and then I think it was the second game we played, we actually got not a bot, we actually got somebody in playing with us that didn't communicate with us, because we weren't in a private chat, we were actually in the in-game chat, so they really didn't.
Yeah, it's like we were using the in-game chat function to in-game. It's like in-game comms, and
right, and they didn't communicate at all, and we ended up having to freaking go save them, like, I don't even know how many times, which slowed us down, put us into sticky situations. And then, I mean, there was the one level where, like, we're basically following their line for us and doing what we need to do, and they're stuck back, and it's like, what the heck is going on? Like, why are you? And we couldn't get to them because we'd already gone down to the secondary part of the level.
Yeah.
To where you couldn't go back to do anything, and they're just stuck up there, and they're like dying, and we're like,
well, I guess we can.
Sorry, dude.
It's like, sorry, man. You should have jumped when the rest of us did.
Yeah, right. So, but other than that, I mean, yeah, you definitely want to be able to play with with your buddies or with, you know, if you don't have your buddies, I mean, at least don't play with the bots, because I mean, even when we were playing with the one bot was not very bright.
Yeah, that is a negative check mark, is that the AI is not, I mean, the AI is helpful in some aspects, but the AI sometimes gets like stuck on something.
Yeah.
It's
more of a nuisance than anything.
Yeah, I mean, like, I will have to say that I got healed a lot more with the mom AI than I did by other teammates. Of course, granted, there is the whole entire thing with a full team. I was taking less hits because everyone was like, okay, head on a swivel, and okay, here are our targets, we're gonna take them out.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested to go through and possibly take the characters that I found to, or it's like, you know, basically put this character ranking of a character being S+, S, so on and so forth, because there's 4 of them. There are 4 characters that are considered S tier, cleaners.
Yeah.
I would be very interested in terms of playing with those people, because it's like, you know, it's like, okay, it's like everyone taking a character and playing with those and seeing how far we get. One of them is actually a character that I already play, which is kind of sort of nice. I wasn't expecting it, but at the same time, I'm like, awesome. The guy that I play is considered a S tier cleaner. I will take it. But
which character is that?
Jim, the sniper.
Okay, the sniper. Okay.
The sniper. You want to know who's considered S+?
Who's that?
Hoffman.
Really?
Yeah. Hoffman is considered S+. But here's the reason why. If you get to the point where you unlock, well, this is not really a spoiler. You can see what Hoffman does. Hoffman has the ability to find ammunition.
Yeah.
Which at higher difficulties is going to be handier, because you won't, it's like, because you will, like us playing through normal mode or rookie mode, ammunition wasn't really an issue. No,
it wasn't.
However,
I mean, you could find it just about anywhere.
However, I have the sneaking suspicion that once you progress onto veteran and or nightmare, ammunition becomes more scarce.
Yeah, for Hoffman, it says that his pluses are spawn ammo with kills. He's got a +1 offensive. He's got an extra offensive item slot.
So that means he can have 2 grenades.
Yep. And then team ammo capacity.
Yeah. So that is the reason why those are the reasons why Hoffman is S tier.
Yep.
It's like there's the doc, which of course, you know, I mean, any type of medical support is going to be handy in that game.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what I was very glad to see that one of the character, that it wasn't like, okay, you unlock all the other characters, that basically all the other characters are going to replace your current lineup. I mean, granted, 75% of that is indeed the case. So it's kind of like, I do kind of wish that there was some aspect of the other characters, like Walker, Holly, Mom is the other S tier hero in Left 4 Dead.
she's got instant revive. Yeah,
it's the instant revive.
She's got a +1 support inventory, and she's got a +1 team extra life.
So yeah. Need I say more?
Yeah, it looks like your S or S+ is going to be Jim, Hoffman, Mom, and then you've got Carly. She's Census Hazard. She's a +1 quick inventory, and she's a +1 team use speed.
Which I have. It's like I kind of don't. It's like I will have to be honest. I don't know exactly what that means. I will find out.
Yep.
But again, I'm only through. It's like I'm not even through. It's like I'm not through the game yet.
Right.
But that is the intention of these games.
Yeah.
They're in.
I mean,
Go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, you know, when we played together, I mean, it was, I mean, we played with pretty much just your generic that you got with. You had your one S plus, which was Mom, and you had Walker, you had Holly and
Alejandro.
Evangeline, Evangelo.
Oh, Evangelo.
So I mean, just those four characters. I mean, you were. I mean, I was Evangelo. You were
Walker.
You were Walker, and your buddy was Holly. And I mean, we pretty much held our own.
Yes.
For the most part, you know. I mean, I think the level that we had the most complication with was the Shaun of the Dead one.
Oh, the bar level.
The bar level, yeah.
Which is also another case that it's like you actually mentioned this about DMCA stuff on Twitch. The bar level does have some samples of music that is you know, fairly popular.
Yes.
I am fairly certain that one is a Black Eyed Peas song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the other songs were, but that was the one that I heard the most.
Yeah. I just wish, I mean,
I haven't checked my VODs yet to see if I am muted anywhere inside, or it's like if my audio is muted anywhere in my stream. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because this is a thing that's been happening. Am I going to be upset about it? Also, no.
No.
But yeah, hopefully.
I mean, that level was definitely a tribute to Shaun of the Dead. I mean, personally, because I love Shaun of the Dead, I wish that it would have been Queen that was playing on the jukebox. Just, you know, I probably would have. I probably
more royalties.
I probably would have lost my mind if we're sitting there and we're killing zombies in a bar, and Queen came on, and I mean, Queen is my favorite rock band of all time, and Shaun of the Dead is one of my favorite zombie movies of all time. So I mean, it's a win-win for me. So you know. But yeah, dude, I mean, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. It was I completely agree with you that, you know, play through it with your friends. Don't play through it with the NPCs, because the NPCs are definitely not as bright as you would hope that they would be.
Yes.
Which is definitely like for me is definitely a knock on the game, because for somebody that maybe doesn't particularly like to play, you know, co-op games, or somebody that maybe like the guy that we played it with, maybe he was shy and he's never played with anybody and he just kind of got thrown into the game with us, right?
Yeah.
He normally plays with bots. You're not gonna get the same experience that you would with playing with your friends, and it's gonna be a heck of a lot harder to complete the task at hand, like how you were saying when you played it on Tuesday night by yourself, where you're trying to complete it, but you didn't get that completeness with the bots, because you know they're programmed a certain way to do things, you know, certain ways. You're acting in real time, and you're acting based off of your instincts, and you're acting off of your experience in games, to where a bot is basically just pretty much following
it's following
directions.
It's following
the
roadmap. And it's like, and also to kind of speak to the point of the whole entire thing with bots and playing with your friends. I mean, this is a social game, even though there's like a solo portion of it. I really think that those people that it's like, okay, getting four friends together, getting four friends together and going through and killing some zombies is a grand old time.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, much to the chagrin of my mod, Sassy Swede, she was like, I don't do scary things, and I especially don't do zombies. And there were portions where of course, I don't call the things what they actually are inside the game. I give them a different nickname. Like the big guys that explode, I call them boomers.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like boomer, boomer, boomer.
Yep. Boomer. Big guy. Big guy.
It's like
guy.
It's like tall boy. It's like that's a
tall boy. There you go. That's what it was.
Well, it's like the thing is that tall boys is like their base form. They're like Frieza and level up.
Yeah.
Because
those tall boys reminded me of the Pyramid Head, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it's their movement, because they have that really like
they have a really long arm that
big
they just
long arm that they drag.
And they lead with the other shoulder first. Yeah,
it had the feeling of Pyramid Head to me, but that's just because I've played Silent Hill and I love Silent Hill. But that character is like, I need to stay away from that guy because he is going to swing that big ol' arm at me and he is going to kill me. And every single time he'd come up and he would just, do that with his arm. You'd just see this big ass arm come at it. Now, shoot the arm. Okay, just shoot the arm, because when you shoot the arm,
the weak part
breaks off.
It's like there are weak points in which you want to hit.
Right, and that's one of the things that I like, because you've got the boomers, where they on their chest they kind of have like the light up area on their chest where you can shoot and they'll explode. Then you have the spitters, which I think that's what we're all calling them, the spitters, right?
They're called stingers, but we call them spitters. Yeah,
stingers. Okay.
But you are correct. We did call them spitters because that's what they did.
Right. Yeah.
Of course.
Which was kind of weird. I don't know. Did you when we were playing it and they were spitting? When they would spit and it hit to a certain point, it just kind of stuck, and there was like a laser beam from the spit. Did you notice that at all?
It had a tracking arc.
Okay.
I did notice that, but I what I was assuming that was just the spit trail.
Okay.
Much like a jet stream. And it's like, who knows? Because I can't remember Left 4 Dead well enough because I think spitter was something that was called in Left 4 Dead. I don't know what the big guys.
I'm trying to remember, because
it's been forever and a day ago.
It has been. I'm trying to remember, because you had in Left 4 Dead you had the witches, which basically they would scream and they would bring the zombies to you.
Yeah.
And this you have different.
You had something called snitches.
Snitches. There you go.
Snitches were the things that brought the horde.
Right. And in this one, you've got different, like, stay away from crows. Do not go near the freaking crows.
The birds.
Because you get the birds or whatever they are. They attract the horde. Stay away from police cars. Do not touch police cars or shoot police cars.
I shot one.
We learned that the hard way.
And I actually, it's like, and the thing is that the next playthrough, the thing is I shot a police car purely by accident.
Yeah, you did.
No, because here's the thing. I was using a sniper rifle and I had bullet penetration. Bullets can go through the ridden is what they officially call them in Back 4 Blood. Bullets can pass through the ridden, and you could possibly take out more than one target. But the thing is that that bullet keeps on traveling, and it just so happened to hit the police car. And I'm like, oh, well, I was today years old when I figured this out. It just does not stop there. So so now I'm like, huh, okay. Well, this is going to be something interesting. But it's like, in terms of a rating system, I can, like, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I can't give it a perfect score just because I haven't played the game to its completion. And that might make up that the rest of those that it's like that 1%. But also, to be honest, it also might go down. Like, I can say that it starts at a 9, but it may go up depending on how the rest of my gameplay goes, and it might go down on how the rest of my gameplay goes. All that I know is that I want those Zwat skins really bad. However, they're only achievable or obtainable from completing Nightmare mode.
Yeah.
I am going to, it's like I have a feeling that I might be playing this for a while, and I will probably need lots and lots of help.
For me, I'd rate the game an 8.5.
Okay.
Just because of the bots. You know,
okay, so 8.5 with bots, 9 point, and it's like 9.0 with friends.
Absolutely. With friends, I'd give it a solid 9. With bots, I mean, you know, I don't even think 8.5. I mean, the more I think about it and just the issues with the bots really take the replayability and the fun kind of away from it for me. You know, thinking about it a little bit more and really kind of delving into it, it'd be an 8 with the bots. Like, really an 8. Like, and that's a soft 8. I mean, I could go lower, but I mean,
well, again,
there's so many other things going good for the game that I don't think I could go below an 8. Like, I mean, graphic wise, it's beautiful. It's a great looking game. So yeah, so I mean, dude, the graphics are, the graphics are great. So it's kind of hard for me to an 8. You know, I would just, I mean, the blood effects, just overall graphics are really, really solid for me. You know, and the most fun part about it is there's so many zombies in the game. Like, dude, like, I don't even know how many times you're sitting there, you think that you'd taken out the last zombie and you can move on, that there was more. You know, so, you know, it's hard for me to give it anything under an 8, but like I said, it's a soft 8. You know, it's definitely a 9 when you're playing with your friends and doing that, you know, being able to have that communication and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're playing by yourself with the bots, I mean, the bots kind of take away that replayability, the funness of the game, and what it's meant for. So, I mean, for me, I mean, definitely an 8, in between an 8 and 8.5. You know, I keep changing it. I know it's like the third time I changed it, but like in between there, kind of in between there. I mean, definitely that can change by playing it more, especially with friends and stuff like that. I think now that I'm done with Far Cry 6, I can get. I know my wife wants to play. It's the one thing I love about my wife. You know, she plays games with me. She'll play Halo. She'll play Far Cry. You know, she'll want to do this because she loves zombie games and stuff like that. So, you know, it's definitely going to be interesting.
We need a fourth. What does your wife play?
There you go. She plays on Xbox. She plays
no. What role does she play? What does she like to play?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Like, is she a tank character or is she support class? Because
she's sneaky as hell. She is sneaky as hell.
Okay.
Like, she can sneak around, and she can be our person that, you know, sneaks around and finds stuff for us, because she's really good at that. She's really good at treasure hunting. She's really good at being sneaky and stuff like that. Like me, I just because, you know, I'm a Halo guy, so I like to run and gun and get in your face and, you know, put the shotgun to your face and pull the trigger. So all
right, so tank.
Right, yeah.
And then I'll be in the back line. It's like, okay.
Yeah, don't ask me to be a healer, because I'm not very good at that.
It's like I'll be in the back line with my sniper rifle. Be like, okay, there's a
there you go.
There's a big guy. I'm gonna piss him off. Okay, he's pissed off.
All right, Shane, take care of him.
No. Okay, he's dead. Literally, that has happened quite a bit.
That happened quite a few times that night.
It's like, because if you have a decent sniper rifle and if you're playing as Jim, you can very much take out big guys at a distance, which does help, because
that does.
But go ahead, and if you've played these games, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Please remember to like and subscribe. It helps us out a bit. Even if you didn't like it, tell us, or didn't like these games, tell us what you didn't like about them and everything else. For now, we will be back this episode will release a week from time of recording. Well, this coming Friday, which is Friday the 22nd, we are going to be doing a special Dune episode. So please be in tune for that. That will be airing that will be airing the week after this episode airs, as opposed to the normal 2-week hiatus, or 2-week every other week break.
Yep.
But until then, my name is Brennan. I'm the nerd of many faces. That's been Shane at FDScosplay, and we are the Knights of Nerd. And we hope to see you at the next round table. Where's my mouse? There it is.